Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy, what is it today? Thursday? Happy Thursday to you and your family. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, of course, once more. Help understand best practice and big picture, just kind of see what's going on here. And if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today, of course. And if you do, please comment below. Let me know if this works well for your trading style. I know everyone's got different trading styles, but generally speaking, I'm just trying to obviously help out if possible. So if you want better help, I do have a trading academy committee and signal group. Link in the description below. Check that out in your own time, cryptocache.tech. So here's where we're at here. First of all, for Bitcoin, pretty standard stuff. I say that a lot, of course, but this is very routine. In other words, we've consistently make higher lows, and we had a bunch of higher highs previously to effectively give us a nice, strong push to the upside here to break our resistance at 24,000. So you can kind of see this ascending type of wedge pattern where the price action has broken free from that. That's a very positive sign. So really just implies that 24,000 should be the support level moving forward. We shouldn't experience a significant sell-off, albeit we do see some rejection closer to about 25,000, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. Now, what we'll do too is we'll also update the Fibonacci retracement levels tomorrow to kind of see where we're at here. But of course, today's candlestick hasn't closed yet, so we're just going to go ahead and wait on that. But generally speaking, we're above the 20-day simple moving average still. The 50-day, of course, as well, kind of running concurrent with this ascending trend. So all in all, the trend is our friend, right? That's what we got to kind of recognize and learn to appreciate over the trading months here, whichever direction it's going, right? Because right now we can obviously tell the price action is going higher with higher lows and that ascending type of triangle breakthrough. So hypothetically, we have only blue skies from here or green skies. I think I said that yesterday as kind of a reference to trading and essentially just telling us that we are moving in the right direction here. Okay. If we take a look at the RSI, of course, we're not overextended by any stretch. We're about halfway there. So it's actually kind of good that we had some pullback here today so we didn't have an aggressive push to the upside. We also got to keep in mind, too, that the dollar index is kind of drawing even here today, as well as the S&P and NASDAQ. They gapped up overnight. Okay, so again, even though we have the gaps up, we can also see that they are kind of forming a doji type of candle. And obviously, if we look at the shorter time frames, we can kind of see that they are essentially starting to kind of break even. Okay, and that really just tells us that Bitcoin should follow somewhat of a suit there. Okay, now we want to look at some support levels here, of course, because it's not all contingent on those things, but generally speaking, the macro does look pretty decent. Okay, now if we take a look at the 4-hour, this is where things probably get kind of interesting because we can see we got this potential rejection off of 70 on the RSI. It didn't quite hit that, but it came close, and it's coming back down. So big surprise, that typical higher low, higher high pattern, it's happening right now. It's going to continue as we see this transition here from the RSI coming back down. So as the RSI comes down, we should expect what is normally a bounce off of the key level support. So 24,000 should work as a support level now. So the price comes back down to 24. It would not be a terrible entry point. The likelihood of it bouncing off that area is fairly high, considering it took us a long time to break through that resistance. Now that we're above that resistance level, we can kind of see it should work as a support. That's hypothetically what typically happens in most cases. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there in that sense. We can also see the MACD is, of course, still converging, but it is losing a little bit of its momentum. Doesn't mean it's going to come crashing back down, but it'd be very standard and normal if the price were to come down and bounce off of 24,000. Kind of expecting that to happen. We're above all three moving averages as well, which is great. The 200 is working concurrent with the ascending trend, just as this 50-day SMA also works concurrent with ascending trends on the daily. So we're looking pretty good here. Honestly, there's no negative. The only thing we might want to take a look at is, of course, TD sequential, where we're at about an 8 right now. So a pullback would make sense. Now, again, it's not going to have a significant pullback. If it were to, we could even see somewhere in the range of 23,500. It wouldn't be terrible if we lost 24,000. The sky is not falling if that happens, but it would be disadvantageous in the overall momentous trend that we're having to lose 24,000. But hypothetically, 23,500 should work as an alternative there because that was a strong resistance level for some time. All right, so again, that's kind of where we're at there on the 4-hour. Looking at the hourly, we can see on TD sequential, of course, we've hit 2 9s and we're got to reset about a 4. So hypothetically, we see 2 9s in a row. What does that tell you? That typically tells you that you're overextended on the shorter time frames, the micro, and essentially that a pullback would be necessary, which makes perfect sense here, right? So we can see that pullback occurring, and it's definitely just something that's going to continue to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 24,000 revisited here soon. Doesn't mean you got to short your shirt off. Don't get me wrong, it may not come back down, but it could and likely should based on its overextension here. At the very worst or best, depending on how you look at it, the price will go sideways and then up from there. We may not see the price come down that far, but it would make sense that it wants to, just based on how potentially overextended it is. But it's not like it's super overextended. This is still a very healthy pattern. And you can see this nice consolidation here and here as well before it legs up. So it's not like it's all terrible. Don't get me wrong. There's this overextension is not aggressive by any stretch. Take a look at the Ichimoku cloud. This is something to acknowledge here that we could be losing the lagging span here soon. In other words, if the price action doesn't increase in the next 12 hours, then we'll see kind of a, basically give us a signal that we may want to close our position because we're losing that momentum. Same thing here as well with the conversion line above the baseline. Those are basically moving averages. It's telling us that we're still in good shape to hold our position open. And furthermore, of course, we're well above both leads on the cloud, upper and lower. So again, we're 3 out of 3 here on a long position. There's no reason to take a short for the moment. But if you're the gambling type and you expect the price to pull back, which makes sense to at least 24,000 or 23,500, then I think at this point that could be a potentially beneficial play there. But again, careful shorting and longing consistently. It can really kind of get to you as far as the day trading aspect of things. Just make sure you're patient and wait for confirmation. And for right now, we don't have confirmation that this momentous trend to the upside is finished. So once we have that, we could consider maybe a short, but I would still recommend against that based on the fact that we've broken the key level resistance now that we haven't in some time. Because if you honestly look at the daily here, you can see that the price action, I mean, look at how many times it's tried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times before it broke through that resistance. Do you really think it's just going to start coming straight down from here because the fact that it's just slightly overextended on a shorter time frame? No, probably not. We will see a pullback, perhaps continuing lower to 24, but a break below 24,000, like a close below 24,000, would essentially be disadvantageous. I think that kind of speaks for itself, right? Because again, the candlestick opened at 23,900 on this daily, roughly at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time yesterday. That being said, if we close below that, that would put us at basically a doji candle or a gravestone candle, and that could imply a reversal. Okay, so again, we're looking for a close above 24,000 today. That'd be awesome. But if we do see a wick down to 23.5, I also wouldn't be super concerned just yet because we are still making higher lows, and we effectively broke our resistance level at 24,000. So that's kind of where we're at there. I would say mostly positive. I would say that longs are going to be much more of a viable option than shorts at this point. But again, it really depends on which coins you're trading and where you're at with things, because there's definitely a lot of volatility. So just keep that in mind. We do have increased volume today and yesterday as well, which is a very positive sign. We can maintain that volume. We should be able to see the price action continue higher and to keep itself above this volume support right at about 23,000. So we got some good support levels holding the price action in place. 23, 23.5, and 24,000 are 3 key level supports I think that are going to be worth paying attention to moving forward. So that's kind of where we're at there. Hopefully that made sense and I explained this correctly. If you like what you saw, comment below, all that good stuff. Feel free to let me know. And if you want to become a better trader, again, CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below. I do look forward to working with you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you.